It's coffee time!
Good morning guys and welcome to this reading vlog. So in today's vlog, as you can tell by the title, we are here to discover some horror novellas together. One of my reading goals for 2024 was to read more horror novellas, but then I have realized that I rarely pick them up. There are so many out there. I also have a lot of them on my Kindle and I always forget to just add them to my TBR piles or to just pick them up. And I thought, why not use 1 week of the summer to just read some horror novellas? That way I can, fulfill my craving of horror novellas, and I also can read a lot in a week and I can feel really fulfilled even though summer is a little bit busy for me. But I thought it would be nice to discover new novellas, new authors, and give you my feedback on them. So we're here to read a couple of them. I'm also here to give you an update on my bathroom, which I will give you very soon. But let me tell you which horror novellas I plan to read in this video. Everything is subject to change though, because it can be that I start a novella that I'm not really vibing with, so I might just exchange it for another one. But my plan is to read Sacrifice Island by Christine Dearborn, The Turtle Boy by Patrick Burke, Unidentified by Michael McBride, and Cursed by Lee Kenny. So those are the four that I kind of want to read. And the only author that I have previously read is Patrick Burke. The other authors are new to me. And if I have time, I would like to include Before You Sleep, which is 3 short horrors by Adam Neville, which I have also read before. So those are my reading plans for this vlog. I don't know which one I should start with. Maybe I'll start with Sacrifice Island, because islands are something that you immediately kind of relate to summer, holiday, spending time abroad, which is something very popular in summer horror, traveling somewhere. You're supposed it's gonna be nice, but then you encounter monsters, legends of witches, you might encounter cannibals, you never know. So Sacrifice Island, the title is a little bit ambiguous. It could be sacrifice, it could be a cult, it could be cannibals, it could be something supernatural, I don't know. But this is from Crossroad Press Ladies of Horror, so I'm really intrigued about this one. Never heard or read the author before, so I think this is the one that we should start with. Update on the bathroom, you guys. I have a bathtub, as you can see. I have a shower over there, as you can see. And we have a mirror. And if you press here, oh, it lights up. Yes. So it's progress, you guys. It's progress. Here's my purring baby. She purrs so much. She's getting so big. Look at this baby. This munchkin. Oh my goodness. This muffin. This muffin. Look at those ears. Aww. So you guys, I have actually just finished the novella. It's quite quick. It took me under 2 hours because I was taking my time with it, but it is a quick read for the summer, and I'm really glad that I started with this one because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think part of it is because it is actually loosely inspired by some Filipino like legend, like a myth. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because I think it's nicer if you don't know. And it's also a novella, so it's short, so you should not know way too much before you go into it. So we follow a man and a woman. They are best friends, they work together, and they are paranormal investigators. They have been working for some time now to compile some cases of some haunted places all over the world because they want to write a book about haunted places, ghosts, and everything paranormal. So their next destination is going to be the Philippines because one of them, Gemma, has found a journal from a woman that used to live in the Philippines. And apparently there is an island in the Philippines where tourists no longer are allowed to go, and even the native people that live there don't want to be anywhere near the island. It was an island that when it was discovered, they tried to bring some tourism into it, and there was also like some sort of like school for like troubled teens, and some nuns were taking care of those girls. But then there's starting to be many cases of suicide and people started to go missing, and they decided to shut down the island and not let anybody else in, and that was around the 90s. So now we have these two paranormal investigators that want to go to this island and find out if there are any ghosts in there because of everything that happened, and why are people still going missing in this place. So they want to, you know, go there with the whole gear and put cameras and just try to figure out if there is any presence, you know, if there is any ghost in the island. So when they get there, the natives are a little bit kind of shady already from the beginning, and I already had the feeling that there was something wrong with those people, that they probably knew more than they were letting us on. But it was a very interesting read. I really enjoyed it. I think it's been one of my favorite stories about an island, like summer horror island kind of thing, because I think for me it just really hit the spot. I love the pacing, I really enjoyed the characters, I love the atmosphere, I loved the description of the island, I love whatever's going on in the island that I don't want to tell you about. So this kind of myth or legend it's based on, I loved it, and I think it was fantastic. So I think I'm gonna give this one 4 coffee mugs, if not more. Like, I really enjoyed it, to be honest. And I think I'm gonna try and find more books by the author because I really enjoy the writing, and yeah, like I said, I had a lot of fun, and I definitely recommend you guys this one. So I am going to take a break from my novellas today and grab the next one tomorrow. I'm aiming to read 1 novella per day, also not to overwhelm myself. So tomorrow we'll come back, and hopefully the next novella that I read is at least as good as this one, but we shall see. If you know of any other summer island horror novellas, let us know down below so we can enjoy them. Welcome to day 2 of me reading a summer horror novella. So I think today what I am going to be reading is Unidentified by Michael McBride. And I think this one is gonna be fun because it is a sci-fi horror, and I don't read as much sci-fi horror as I should because I really like the combination. I mean, currently we're actually rewatching the Alien movies because we are really excited about Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez, so I'm hoping it's going to have a lot of horror. So today we're going to be reading Unidentified by Michael McBride, and I think this is one of those stories where there is something that they see in the sky and they think it might be a UFO. So I think that's where the sci-fi part comes from, aliens, and I'm in the mood for that. I think this one is under 100 pages, so it should also be a short read. And today the weather is not really great for summer. It's very rainy and cloudy, but also it's nice to have a refreshment because the last couple of days it has been quite hot for the Netherlands. I'm used to it, you know, I can deal with the heat. But I also really like kind of more fresh summer days. So I was thinking today I have had a day off from hell. The whole morning has just not went at all as planned, and I feel like I need to relax. So I think today I'm gonna go into my bathtub. Today has really not went as planned. I had so many plans and dreams when I woke up this morning, and I thought I could accomplish it all. But then life said, no. You're not gonna accomplish everything you wanted to do today, and it's perfectly fine. At least I have finished my work, and I have managed to book my tickets for Spain because I will be going to Spain to visit my parents 1 week in the month of September. I have planned some content because I would like to leave things pre-recorded and ready to go for that trip, because I would not like to have a week without content on YouTube. And I also have finally got my tickets for Yalk, train tickets, hotel. So all of that organizing this morning took a lot longer than I had anticipated. I had also scheduled today to record 2 videos, but that is not happening. I mean, I could still do it, but I feel like I have been so stressed the whole morning, and I've just finished work and I kind of need to unwind. So I'm gonna push the videos to tomorrow, and I'm just gonna do it tomorrow, and I'm just gonna accept that. You know, past me would have stressed out even more and would have got the videos done, but I'm trying now to find some sort of balance between enjoyment of life and work and responsibilities. So even though I love making videos and I love recording them, it also means, you know, that I'm gonna be sitting for a couple of hours recording, and I feel like today is not the day for that. So I've moved that for tomorrow, and today I thought I would just relax and read. And I think because the whole morning and working day have been just so stressed and chaotic, a bath will be great. And because the temperatures have went down a little bit, it's okay if I have a warm bath in these temperatures. So we're gonna get the bath ready and we're gonna read our novella. Welcome back from that beautiful, relaxing bath. I had such a good bath. I can definitely recommend that bath bomb if you have it in your Lush store. I love Lush. It is very expensive. I don't get all of my bath bombs from them, but I have to say they have the best ones I have tried so far. And that one was really, really good. It smelled so nice and it made so many bubbles. So I finished my novella during my bath time. I always like to stay there for at least an hour. So I finished my novella and I'm here to talk to you about it. As I had anticipated from the sci-fi horror, we do deal with the potential idea that there is something out there, that there are alien or creatures in the outer space that might come to Earth for their own purposes. Interesting enough, just like in the other novella, we do get a prologue that is kind of like setting up everything. Something about this novella is that it is actually told from two different timelines. We are in 2019, which is the present time, and we are 40 years into the past. We follow the same characters. It is a little bit like It Part 2, where the characters have went through something really traumatic that bonded them when they were 15, and now 40 years later they believe that the same thing is happening again, so they come back together to try to fight it again. So it was very much that kind of vibe, and I thought I was gonna love it. But the thing is, when you have two different timelines and you have a novella under 100 pages and you keep switching back and forth, first of all, it can feel a little bit choppy, and second of all, it also doesn't allow you to connect with the characters when they are 15 and then to the characters now 40 years later, because you keep switching back and forth, so you don't really have time to really get into that story with those characters. I don't know, I feel like the characters didn't feel real to me, and possibly part of why that happened is because they keep changing back and forth in time, and in such a short novella, then it didn't allow me time to really get invested with the characters. Basically 40 years ago, our main characters, a bunch of kids, they saw some red triangle lights above the cornfield and they decided to go and investigate. On top of that, other weird things were happening in town, like people went missing, mostly kids, and also there were animals' bodies that appeared mutilated for no apparent reason, and there was something weird going on, so the kids decided to go out and investigate in the middle of the night, and they found themselves in the cornfield, finding things that probably they should not have found. And then we see the same characters 40 years later, and apparently the same thing is happening. The animals are being mutilated, a girl has just disappeared from the town, and they think that whatever was there 40 years ago is back. The characters kind of have suppressed their memory because of the trauma 40 years ago. They claim they don't remember what happened to them, but now as they are, back investigating what's going on, they're going to, through flashbacks, they're going to remember what actually happened 40 years back. And honestly, I was not a big fan of the twist and how everything ended, so it was not a win for me. I think I will still give this a 2.5 because I do like the idea for it, and it does give me kind of like It's Stephen King vibes, a little bit Stranger Things kind of vibe, and so for that, I really enjoyed it. It's also sweet and short and I do like certain elements of it, and certain creepy moments were nice, but overall, I was a little bit disappointed. But anyway, this has been novella number 2. So for the rest of the day today, I'm just going to relax, have dinner, and we're going to watch, I think it's Prometheus today, because like I said, we are on our Alien rewatch. So I think it's Prometheus time today, and I remember enjoying that one. I do like Prometheus and Covenant, like the newer Alien movies. I don't know why people hate on them so much. I think they're really nice, and they're fantastic sci-fi horror, so I would still recommend them. And then on Saturdays when we're gonna go watch the new one, which I'm really excited about. But anyways, you guys, I digress as usual. It's time for me to leave for now, but I'll be back tomorrow and we'll be reading together novella number 3. Good morning, guys. It is day 3 and I'm getting ready to record the 2 videos that I didn't get to record yesterday. So I'm gonna need some coffee for that. And today we're gonna be reading the 3rd novella in a row. And I think today we're gonna pick up Turtle Boy by Kellen Patrick Burke. It is the only author that I have already read before, and I've always really enjoyed his books, especially Keen by Kellen Patrick Burke is such a good summer horror, kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes. So I'm excited for this one. It's also set in the summer. I know nothing about it, but I think There is another follow-up novella because in Goodreads is marked as #1. So we shall see. We will discover it together. But before I can sit down and read, I have to record 2 videos. And then I need to quickly go by the post office and get a couple of groceries. So I'll take you with me. I'll go on a walk. This gremlin is playing with my cables. Drusilla, we talked about this. Cables are not food. Repeat after me. Cables are not food. Having a kitten is a full-time job. What was I saying? So basically, when I go to the grocery store or I go to the post office, it's quite close to home. It's like 10 minutes tops walking. So what I do is I will take a longer way, like a longer route to get there, and I'll listen to an audiobook or something, and then at least I get a little bit more of walking in because I do work from home, so I'm mostly sitting all day. So either I go to the gym or I try to walk as much as I can when I leave the house. So after all of that, I will finally be able to read my novella of the day. That's going to be like the treat of the day. So before that, let's get first to some recording. Hi guys, I'm Gasha. Welcome to our coffee times to talk about horror. And even though we are already in the middle of August, so summer is slowly approaching its end, I thought I would still give you some summer recommendations. In this video specifically, I wanted to talk about what makes a good summer horror. Doesn't matter if it's movies or books, so let's get into it. I thought I would go all out, and in case that you're still looking for a book to read or a movie to watch this summer, maybe you find something here. So you guys, I finished recording, but sadly I could only record 1 video. It's taken forever to record. It's one of those long ones that also is gonna take me a while to edit, and I need to edit it today. And also in between, my memory card got full and I had to empty it on the PC, and then my battery was out, so I had to change the battery. It's been one of those days again where things just don't go as planned, also known as me every day. But anyway, 1 video is good. It's the one that I have to edit and upload today anyway, so I'm good, and I will try to record the other ones that I want another day. Now it's time to go get groceries, get the video edited, and then I can start reading my novella. And just like that, we have finished our novella #3 for this vlog. And this one was a very quick read, or it just felt like a very quick read. We are in Ohio in 1979, and we follow 11-year-old Timmy. And his best friend is Peter. They are polar opposites. They look very different, but they are also very different on the inside, and they have very different families as well. But they're best friends. It's summer and they want to do something outside, so they're kind of debating what to do. They don't know where to go. So you have that kind of summer innocence, kind of like that need for exploration, to find something to do, you know, the kids' imagination. And it brings me back to a lot of summers that I spent on my bicycle, just biking around, finding like hidden places and fun things to do. So it's very reminiscent of childhood, but also for people that like me, I used to spend every summer 3 months by the beach and on my bicycle, and it brings me back all of those memories. They decide to go to the pond even though they know it's not really allowed for kids to go there, but they go anyway, and they see there a really weird looking kid. They don't know who this kid is or what he's doing there. They've never seen him before, and he looks weird. He almost looks like he's rotten, and his name is Daryl. Timmy's parents are not happy that he went to the pond, even though the parents said he should not go there. And now that Peter is gone to summer camp, Timmy is left alone and he's very bored. His parents make him now play with a girl called Kim, and he doesn't really want to because he's afraid that if the other guys see him playing with a girl, they're going to assume that he likes her. And it's very interesting because it is true that when you are younger and you start to become friends with a boy and you're a girl, people always assume it's because you want to be his girlfriend or whatever. And it's like this thing that girls and boys cannot be friends, which is so stupid. When I was a kid, actually, I always wanted to hang out with the boys because I felt like I had more things in common with them. I didn't feel so much like a girly girl when I was a kid, if you can imagine. And so I always like preferred to hang out with the boys, and I was also a little bit kind of like teased about it when I was a kid. But to be fair, I just didn't like girly things and do the things that the girls wanted to do. I thought it was boring, so I just wanted to hang out with the boys. But it's interesting that the parents in the book are always warning the kids not to go to certain places, including the pond. So you kind of wonder what happened there. Why are the kids not allowed to go? Now, I'm not gonna talk anymore about the plot or anything because it is a short novella and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But this novella is kind of like a portrayal of grief and loss. But the novella also focuses on what it means to be a kid and having that innocence and what happens when you lose that innocence. There's always a time in everyone's life when something happens and it hits you so hard that it flips the switch, and from being like an innocent, naive little kid, you realize what the reality of life is and that not everything is pretty. And I really enjoy the writing style. I thought that the conversations, both between the kids themselves and kids and adults, were really well done. It felt like very like believable conversations, heartfelt, and I really enjoyed reading this book. Do check the content warnings though for this book because there's the mention of abusive parents as well as homophobia, so just for you to know. And it does deal with kids, so if it's something that you are not comfortable reading, then maybe this is not for you. But especially if you've read Kilpatrick Burke before and you really enjoy his writing, you might really like this novella. I think I'm gonna pick up the second one as soon as I can and keep following the story because so far I'm really invested. But don't think that this ends up really like with a huge open ending or anything like that. You can also just read this novella and be done with it. So it's not like it ends up in a way that you have to continue. And that was all for today, folks, and I'm really excited for tonight because I am joining Amy for some reading sprints. I have not been in her reading sprints for a while and I'm really excited to join her and catch up with her and also talk about books and all things horror. So I'll see you guys tomorrow and we will read together novella number 4. Welcome to day 4. We're here to read our next horror novella, and I have already started it. It is Cursed, and it is one that, first of all, I love the cover, and second, I saw that Sharon really enjoyed this one, so I have high expectations for it. So far, it feels a little bit like your typical Asian movie where something or someone gets cursed and then they start to see things. So again, this novella had a prologue. I'm starting to realize that it's a kind of like a formula that a lot of authors use for horror novellas in order to kind of, I guess, already catch you, and they give you like a prologue with something horrifying that happens so that you are ready for what's to come. But let me give you a content warning though for this novella. So far, the content warning I'll give you is self-harm. In this novella, we follow Curtis, and he is a guy that works basically collecting the trash. He empties trash cans, and you know, they drive around with the trash truck, I guess. And he doesn't mind his job at all. You know, it gives him money to live and have a good life. And one day while he is at work emptying trash cans and he's almost done with his shift, there is this woman that approaches him and asks him for a favor. See, she's carrying this cardboard box, and he just asks him if he would be so nice to throw it directly into the truck because it doesn't fit in the small trash cans. And at the beginning, Curtis is like, what the hell, lady? But then, you know, he just wants to go home, finish his shift, and so he just grabs the cardboard box, like this little box from her, and throws it into the truck to get rid of it. That night he goes to party with his friends as usual, and the next morning he is hangover. So he wakes up, he goes and takes a shower to help him wake up, and while he is inside of the shower, he thinks that he sees a shadow go by, even though he's the only one in the house. And he also finds a handprint on the shower, on the glass, and he thinks it's a small print, and it's probably just the cleaning lady that, you know, didn't clean properly. But dear gentle reader, you and I know better. We know this is already bad luck. Like, red flag was there when this lady gave him the box and he was stupid enough to take it. First of all, never take anything from strangers. You don't have to be a kid, even if you're an adult. Don't take things from strangers. It's just my advice to you. When she passes him the box, you kind of already know that there's something wrong with it, that she's probably trying to pass a curse or something onto him. I think it's pretty obvious. But our friend Curtis, he didn't know better. He touched the box and now he's in trouble. Apart from this kind of presence that he saw, this shadow that he saw while he was showering, he goes to the kitchen. And what is in the kitchen? The box. The box. He threw it to the trash. It was like demolished by the trash truck. But now it sits perfectly fine, perfect condition in his kitchen. How did the box get there? We are so fudged, Curtis. We are so fudged. So far, it reads very much like Asian horror, you know, your typical Asian horror cursed movies. And I really enjoy that. I think this is a great, strong start to the novella. But now I'm gonna go and have a shower myself, which after reading what I just read, I'm gonna be a little bit paranoid inside of my shower. I'm gonna be very wary of any shadow. But I barely slept last night and I have been struggling today. I feel very tired. I feel destroyed, even a little bit sick. So I think a nice shower might help me wake up. And then I'm gonna keep reading this novella because I think this one potentially might be the best one yet, but I'm just getting ahead of things. I just really like Asian horror and this is giving me those vibes, and I love cursed things. So I just really want to know what's with this box, who it belonged to, what is hunting it, and how many more people are gonna die. That's what I would like to know. But first of all, let's see if I survive the shower. Hello guys, it's actually been 2 or 3 days since I finished Curse, but I haven't had time to sit down and talk to you about the rest of the book. Hopefully I already mentioned in the last clip what the book is about, because I forgot what I ended it last, but this was such a good novella, you guys. I gave it a 5 out of 5. A 5 out of 5, and it doesn't happen so often with novellas, because most of the time with novellas I'm missing either character development, or I'm missing like a big punch or something that really gets me like excited about it, and this one had everything for me. This was such a good kind of Asian horror messed up cautionary tale. Absolutely loved it, and the author is just releasing her next book at the end of August on the 25th, so right after my birthday, and I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get a copy of that because I think it's gonna be an auto-buy author for me now, and I am gonna get this book in physical form as well because I really enjoyed it. So this guy, right, with the box that he accepted from this stranger, which we all know he shouldn't have, but he did, so now we're dealing with this trauma, and he is trying desperately to get rid of this box, but no matter what he does, the box keeps coming back into his life. And this book has action from the get-go, from beginning to the very end, is non-stop creepiness, and it is amazing to see how Curtis' life goes from bad to worse. And it is very interesting because he's the vanilla guy. He's the guy that, you know, has a very normal, quiet life, and then things just get out of control for him, and he's put in many weird, uncomfortable situations. He cannot tell people about it because he thinks they're gonna assume that he's crazy, which obviously if somebody would tell me that they have a box at home that it's cursed, I would probably think that they're also a little bit insane. And even though you know from the get-go as well that this is going to be the typical story where there is a cursed object, a cursed place, and you know kind of what to expect from that plot, it was such a good story, and the ending was absolutely fantastic. So poor Curtis at the end of the day tries to look for professional help because he's unable to get rid of this box by himself, and things don't go well. Don't go well for him. And I strongly encourage you guys to pick this one up, especially if you love Asian horror and you've never read this. Sometimes good people have to do shitty things to protect themselves. This is the line that I'm going to take from this novella. So this was my horror novella reading vlog, and I had a lot of fun discovering some new horror novellas that I can also recommend to you guys. And I think I might do this again, but maybe with Christmas themed horror novellas. So if you know of any good horror novellas that take place during Christmas, or that they are, you know, somewhere where it's really cold, there is snow, icy places, something that like screams winter to you, leave recommendations down below because I'm looking for more. I have a couple already on my radar, but I would really appreciate if you guys would leave me some horror novella recommendations of novellas that take place during winter or Christmas season. I hope that you enjoyed this reading vlog. Thank you guys so much as always for all your support. Consider joining my Patreon, the link is down below, to support me and the channel, and I hope to see you all as always in our next coffee time. Bye!